Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
It is the XUV's second facelift and quite a significant one. The face has been cleaned up with more angular detailing for the headlamps, a return to a segmented design for the daytime running lights, and a matching segmented pattern for the new grille. The bumper has been given revisions to add more aggression to an already angry face, while its counterpart at the rear integrates new lighting elements. The taillights are now stubbier and extend into the tailgate, and their mismatched pattern looks like a sliding tile picture puzzle. There is a new design for the wheels too. But while the cosmetic changes aim to make it look more sophisticated, the XUV 500 still looks as busy as it did upon launch. The stance is quite imposing though, with all its heft and muscle, and attracts attention even today. The Jeep Compass on the other hand takes a more minimalist approach with its Iron Man inspired design. It sticks to the tried and tested boxy format for its SUV body style, while fine details like the narrow headlamps, the signature and proportionate 7-slat Jeep grille, the flared wheel arches and the pinched roofline impart a sporty stance but with an understated elegance. It holds its dignity well, whether the backdrop is of a jungle or of a cityscape, and doesn't draw preconceived notions about its owner in the mind of the onlooker. The XUV 500 has been updating its cabin quite frequently too. It moved from tan to black in the previous update, and the new one uses a large piano black panel for the center console. I'm not quite for it because it is a dust and fingerprint magnet which makes the dash look shabby by the end of the day. I've always been appreciative about car makers who use a uniformity of fonts and color schemes, and the XUV 500 continues to do so too. However, the fonts on the switchgear are too small to read while in motion, and there are just too many switches for today's day and age. The XUV has a large 7-seater configuration, so if you need to ferry a large family, this is your car out of the two. The front seats of the XUV 500, they're going to fit everyone differently. They're nice and accommodating, they're large, but the overall contouring, it's a little weird for me. I'm not able to find a comfortable seating posture for the last couple of days now. You have all sorts of adjustments, recline, reach, even lumbar support, but just not comfortable enough for me. You also get this constant feeling of sitting on stilts. Even the steering wheel feels a little too in your face, and I've been unintentionally summoning the voice assistant or muting the audio every time I'm taking turns. But what I do like is the overall visibility that this seating posture offers. It gives you that classic commanding view of the road that you expect from a utility vehicle, and there's nothing too intrusive or obstructive in your field of vision. Getting a judgment of all the four corners of the car, very easy. The cabin of the Compass has a more premium feel to it despite the minimalist design. All controls are easy to reach, and while the fit and finish may not be typical posh Jeep, it is easily one of the best in this class. I would have preferred a crisper and a larger infotainment screen though, and one that doesn't need me to take my eyes too far off the road. But to its credit, it has lesser glare and is easier to read and navigate in comparison to the infotainment in the XUV 500. Both these cars are closely matched on their safety features and secure the cabin with up to 6 airbags on the range-topping trims. ABS with EBD and frontal airbags are standard, while the higher trims also get you traction control, rollover mitigation and hill start assist. The big news for the 2018 update of the Mahindra XUV 500 is the uprated engine. The 2.2-litre diesel engine can now be had with a 155 PS tune, and will give you 360 Nm of torque between 1,750 to 3,800 RPM. Now that comes courtesy of the 6th generation of the variable geometry turbocharger, and that in turn improves fuel economy as well. The uprated motor continues to be offered with manual or automatic 6-speed gearbox options, and the latter is my choice for its convenience and slick performance over the manual's rubbery, cumbersome shifts. However, we brought the manual to this test to draw a fair comparison against the Compass. Mahindra has nailed its ride quality tuning on the Indian terrain, and that reflects across their entire utility lineup. If you want your SUV to be more utility than sport, then the XUV could be your choice. It's got a nice soft and cushy suspension setup. It's got a good ground clearance as well, conveniently light steering. So if you want those sort of things to go off-road, to go off the beaten path, then this could be the one to go for. It also gets all-wheel drive capabilities, meaning that it is predominantly front-wheel driven, but if it detects slip, then you also get the power to the rear wheels to get you better traction. It also comes with a finely tuned traction control system and an all-wheel drive configuration to provide optimum grip when the terrain starts getting slippery. Spec it with the right set of tires and the XUV will impress off the road too. The engine of the Compass, now we know that the multi-jet engines do tend to get noisy with time, they do tend to feel a little unrefined. But compared to what you get in the XUV 500, this one certainly feels more premium with its refinement, with its low vibrations. The manual clutch on the 2-liter multi-jet oiler that powers the Compass is cumbersome to operate in bumper-to-bumper traffic. However, the Italian engine is an absolute delight to drive, and that reflects with its quicker in-gear and outright acceleration figures compared to the XUV. Neither of these engines, though, meet the refinement benchmarks set by the Hyundai Tucson. But out of the two, the Compass has the better engine to live with. It scores points further for better fuel economy despite the higher power output and a punchier performance. Compared to the XUV, I prefer the steering feel of the Compass. It's a little heavier, can feel a little cumbersome when you're driving in the city environment, but out on the highway, out around the twisties, it is so much more fun to drive. So like I said, with the XUV, if you want more utility from your sport utility vehicle, probably that is the one to go for. But if you want more sport from your sport utility vehicle, it's the Compass. Compared to its class rivals, the suspension setup on the Compass is slightly on the stiffer side, slightly on the firmer side. So you do get that firm feeling when you're going over undulations, especially when you're tackling the broken path. You do get a few thuds if there's a series of bumps or a series of potholes. It manages to get everything right, whether you're driving around the twisties or taking it off the road. The Compass just plasters a nice smile across your face. It doesn't get a low-range gearbox either. However, an electronic torque vectoring system with presets for various terrain like sand, rock and snow makes sure that you are covered when the going gets tough. The Jeep Compass couldn't match the braking performance of the XUV 500, but more than made up for it with better steering feedback and grip around bends and on gravelly terrain. Despite all the strong points, summing this up is very tough. The Jeep Compass commands so much premium over the XUV 500 that you could probably buy an entry-spec hatchback in the money saved. In that sense, the XUV 500 offers tremendously better value than the Compass, packs in a seating for 7 and comes with the convenience of an automatic, which as a package continues to work for most consumers out there. The Compass, on the other hand, trumps the XUV with delightful driving dynamics, arguably better build quality and a more compelling and refined drivetrain, all of which gives it a better feel-good factor than the XUV 500. And while that feeling may be subjective, the scores are a mirror of the Jeep's abilities, declaring it the clear winner of this test.